I went ahead and started a fresh map in Minecraft. And here I don't know where I am. I don't know anything about the surrounding area. This is completely fresh. I started it in survival. I can even show you that I'm here in survival mode, right? Most people that play Minecraft, whether in creative or survival, wherever you are, you're probably not doing rigorous calculations in your mind. But the purpose of this video is to show you that just because you're not doing those rigorous calculations doesn't mean that you're not doing mathematics. What it means is you're not doing rigorous mathematics. If you think of the idea of counting, if I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or if I asked you to count to 10, you don't have to think about that anymore. You can just simply rattle it off, no problem. That's because you've taken the time to understand the concept of counting, the process of counting, and you're able to take that and just apply it without even like it's second nature to you at this stage, right? You don't really need to think about it or consider it because it's just part of it's almost like it's part of you now. Like you don't have to give it any more thought. That wasn't always the case. At some point, you learned how to count, and during that process of learning how to count, it required significant cognitive function. It required you to really think about what you were doing and how you were doing it. Well, the same thing's true for a lot of topics in mathematics. Arithmetic is one of those topics. Somebody that spends a lot of time doing arithmetic, they are more likely to be able to do arithmetic quickly, right? And what I want to show you here is even when you're estimating, you're still doing some form of the arithmetic things that we talked about. So I have 32 blocks. I have these planks, these wood planks, and I can make a shelter with this. And the question I have right now is 32 enough for me to make a shelter? And the answer is yes. I didn't have to think about that very long. And even if it's not enough, I have enough trees around me to know that whatever I create with this, if it's not enough, I have enough around me that I can create something different. Okay. So we're going to go 4 wide. We're going to create just bare minimum shelter here to ensure that we can survive the night. We can place our bed here, and then so again, as I'm pointing this stuff out, this is an approximation. I'm not calculating this rigorously. I just need to have a rough idea. Like, is this enough? Am I within a good ballpark? Or do I need more wood? Right? Those are the questions that I'm trying to understand. And as you can see, I do have enough to build my basic shelter and enough to create a crafting table. So let's go ahead and place that crafting table just outside here. And now I need more wood. So all of that was an approximation. I didn't actually run any of those calculations in my head. I had a rough idea. I was hoping to actually to completely fill the top here. But I had to modify slightly because I realized, oh, I'm running out of blocks. And so I can't do the full top. I need to get more wood for that. And so I modified it to be able to complete the build right now. And then as I continue to play, we're going to get into kind of the mindset and some of the things that I'm thinking about as I'm playing that you're doing as well. Maybe not as calculated as I am, but that's okay. Whatever way you're playing Minecraft, continue to play that way, especially if you enjoy it and it's fun. The purpose of Minecraft is to have fun, right? That's why the game exists. Um, I'm just trying to show you that as you're playing Minecraft, you're doing mathematics. And then not only are you doing mathematics, you're doing it so well that you don't even have to think about it. Like you're just doing it. And if we had math tests in Minecraft, I would imagine that you would do a lot better with those tests than you would in like a test in school. Because anytime you're observing someone else doing something, making a build, you're collecting information, mathematical information that you are then coming into your environment and you're translating that. There's like a translation and an estimation process. We're going to talk about that next. But before we do that, I want to touch on a few other topics within mathematics, namely algebra, geometry, trigonometry, and calculus, because every one of these has a way to help us visualize those topics in Minecraft. And each one of those topics we can explore. We could explore in depth. Some of them would be more tedious than others, but the general concepts, there are general concepts that you're using in each one of those to be able to play Minecraft. And so understanding the mathematics, like when you go to math class and you actually do the math, understanding that process and understanding the mathematics behind it is really helpful in being able to play Minecraft. You will be able to do Minecraft better, more efficiently, or more creatively if you can learn more mathematics. Because it's with that mathematics that you're able to explore the world and you're able to do things. And I'm just noticing over here, what is this? Is this a village? Huh, that looks almost like a building, but I don't think it is. I think that's the mountainside. That's cool. This, however, is a village. Well, maybe there's something more up there. I'm going to have to explore that. We'll explore that in a little bit. But the purpose of this was to say that just because you're not doing rigorous calculations doesn't mean that you're not using or leveraging mathematics to play Minecraft. We use mathematics to play Minecraft simply by playing it, simply by being in here. It's a counting game. You're counting things. You're keeping track of the amount that you're counting. You're doing rough calculations of, I have this many blocks. Is this enough for me to build this thing I want to build? Yeah, it'll probably get me close. And then if I don't, I'll go out and get more. And you're identifying where you can get more. So there's area involved, and there's so this map here, if I go ahead and look at the map, we'll see it kind of fill in for us. You're doing a lot of abstract reasoning within the game and possibly not even recognizing that you're doing that stuff. The reason you're able to do that stuff is because you've had the background of your math class to help you understand the basic concepts. Or you had somebody explain that abstract concept to you in order for you to be able to enjoy the game and play the game. And the sun's starting to go down, which means I'm going to have a rough night. But luckily, I can leave that for my future self.